Much for stopping by another live episode of Real Estate Titans. I am your host, Greg Fowler, traveling throughout the marketplace, interviewing the top real estate professionals in our field, from realtors, lenders, builders, developers, residential or commercial, essentially gathering insight, inspiration, really drives and motivates these top producing professionals, what I like to consider a real estate titan. Our very special guest and titan for this episode is Cori Mesa. Cori, thanks so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it. It's awesome. I know everybody out there is really excited about it. So we're just going to kind of go through the regular series of questions that we go through with every Titan, giving everybody out there who's paying attention a window into who you are and what you represent. So
we don't have enough hours in the show for that.
This is going to be a long episode, everybody. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Part 2. Next.
That's right. So let's just dive in if you're cool with it.
All right, let's go for it.
So I guess the first deal is tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Who is Cori?
That's a very good question. Well, first off and foremost, I'm a native to Colorado Springs.
All right.
I heard you are too.
Right? You know, so it's very few people are, and I think that's really weird when it comes down to it, because you meet so many people that are like, I'm a native transplant or almost native.
Right.
There's a difference, everybody. So we have a real native right here.
Right here.
So.
I actually went to Widefield from kindergarten through high school. So
right.
I was born at Memorial, Maine, downtown, which is still standing.
Wow.
But yeah, I lived here my entire life, and I absolutely love Colorado Springs. I always say this, and I tell all my clients, I will never move.
Okay.
I know it sounds, crazy, but there's so many wonderful places out there. But to me, Colorado Springs is home. I love it here.
That's awesome, and a lot of your background, at least what I know, Cori, is you're big into the outdoors. You're super active. I mean, Colorado has so much.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you try. There's a lot out there, though, right? Mountains
Absolutely.
to climb, and all kinds of things that are going on for activities. So.
People who don't like Colorado are people who don't get outside. So get outside.
Did you hear that? You heard it from Cori.
Get outside. Have fun. I know, there's winter here, but there's so many activities. You can do in all seasons.
For sure.
You gotta. Embrace those things, and at least try it once.
Sure.
I mean, you don't know until you try.
There's another one. That's good advice there. So what got you into the business, Cori? I mean, what really segued you into that? Because obviously being a native, what was the influence? What's that story look like for you?
Well, I was cleaning toilets, actually, for other real estate agents, cleaning houses, while I was putting myself through college, and decided, this isn't fun.
Mm-hmm.
My body hurts. Let's do something different.
Wow.
So I decided that I was also going to become a real estate agent, and so I did. And I jumped in with both feet, and I would go and clean houses in the morning, and scramble home and take a shower, and I'd be off showing houses in the evening, and that was my life for about 6 months, and before I said, I can't do this no more. Wow. And I jumped in with both feet, and I fell flat on my face, but
you learned. Failure's a part of that, right?
I fell flat on my face, but I still kept going, and I never gave up, and 11 years now, which is really hard for me to believe.
Insane.
And I got in a really rough time. I got in 11 years ago when the market was crashing.
Seriously?
Yeah, so when most real estate agents were getting out of the business, here I am, gung-ho and green behind the ears. I walked into Keller Williams, my first day, and I'm like, let's sell some houses.
Wow.
And everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like, what, guys? They're like, Cori, the market's crashing, right? And I'm like, she goes, people are foreclosing on their homes, and I'm like, I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
Negative.
What's your point?
Yeah,
What's your point?
so
yeah.
So I just tackled it, and and it was a struggle, but eventually I made it, and here I am 11 years later.
Which is crazy. I think that's a beautiful perspective that you have, though, and I'm sure that your clients see that, is you got in a very difficult time, and you weathered that storm, and you came through that.
Right.
So you have a lot of perspective to give onto a good market, a bad market, and I think that resonates with the people you work with. So that's huge knowledge.
Right.
It's not easy in the best of times, let alone when you started. So anybody who was around during that time, can feel for Cori and everything that's going on there. So that's That's pretty insane, going from literally cleaning toilets to jumping into the business and saying, you know what, I can do that, I can go for it. So I think that's really inspiring for a lot of people. Never stop, and don't set those boundaries for yourself. So that's really cool. Well, that tails into, I guess, the next question is, what's your why, Cori? I mean, why do you do what you do to the level that you do it at? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What really drives you?
Besides my 9-year-old son getting me out of bed in the morning.
There's some more honesty here. This is great. This is great.
I guess my biggest reason for getting up in the morning is success. Everybody wants to say that they succeeded not only at life, but their careers, and fear of failure is so strong for me, just because I've been there.
Okay.
So when people talk about their stories, I can relate.
Right.
And a lot of times I get clients that come to me and they're like, Cori, my credit is horrible, or I've had a really rough time, and I get it.
Sure.
I get it. I've been there, but the thing is you gotta keep hustling.
Sure.
And that's really why I get up every day, is because it's not only about me now. I have a 9-year-old son. It's also about him.
That's big.
And I want to show him what hard work can do for you, and it does a lot. All it takes is a little effort.
Right.
Really.
But it's that first step, taking the action and doing that. I think that, you bringing up your son is going to hit home with a lot of people who are watching this as far as a part of their why. I was talking to a buddy the other day, and it's really interesting because you break down raising children and things like that, and they're paying attention to your actions more so than what you say.
Right.
And so your son seeing you getting out of bed and hustling and getting things done and juggling everything, he's paying attention to every single thing.
Lead by example.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, everybody.
Example.
So I think that that's something for everybody to take away from. And you're doing it. You're living it, Cori. And for 11 years, that's huge stuff. So not easy that way. So that makes sense into why. So let's go into a little bit different of a questioning for everybody who's out there, the professionals, whether you're new or seasoned, trying to get a window into what you do as a business professional, take a few ideas from that. If you could take a look at your business thus far, if you added something specific, one or two things that took your business from here to the next level, what does that look like for you, Cori?
Well, I think that is a pretty simple question. Really what it boils down to is, when I first got into the business, I was a little young.
Okay.
Well, I should say younger than the average real estate agent.
That's fair.
I was in my mid-20s.
Right.
And I think the most embarrassing thing for me was going to show houses, and sometimes the sellers would still be there, and they would open up the door, and their first question out of their mouth is your real estate agent showing up? And I'm like, I am the real estate agent.
Wow.
And so it created this head game for me, really, mental game that, oh my gosh, they think I'm just, this newbie, so I guess the big saying is fake it till you make it.
Okay.
And, everybody has this persona of what a real estate agent looks like.
Right.
And as you know, Greg, I am definitely not your stereotypical real estate agent.
Which is beautiful, which is so beautiful.
And so new into the business and so young, I felt that I had to uphold this persona.
Right.
And once I actually let that go and realized my clients don't care if I drive a BMW or not. They don't care if I show up wearing a 20-piece suit. They don't care. What they care about is that I don't show up and try to sell them on something.
Right.
And that I am a normal person.
Sure.
I'm relatable, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion, and I'm going to treat everybody fairly.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think that was the biggest thing for me.
And that's deep, Cori, when it comes down to it, because a lot of people, there's prejudgments and perception, things along those lines.
Right.
But you've blazed your own path. The honesty and integrity that you have with representing who you are and your brand speaks volumes about your reputation out in the community, which is fantastic, by the way. So I think that your clients really feel that. It's the genuine nature of who you are and what you do. And again, it's not all about production or numbers or commission checks. What makes you a titan, as far as I'm concerned, is what you just said there. And more professionals really, really need to take heed to that, is being original, be genuine, try to help and go through that, and it'll make a world of difference out there.
And treat your clients with great customer service.
Right.
You know, I think that, and I hate to say about my fellow real estate agents,
right.
but I think a lot of them have been so wrapped up in the dollar scheme and chasing that dollar that they really let customer service and personalization go out the window.
Wow.
You know, when you call Cori, you get Cori. You're not going to get her assistant. You're not going to get a showing agent.
Sure.
You know, you hire me for me.
Which is awesome.
You're welcome.
Yes. You're welcome, everybody. That's awesome, Cori.
You know, so I think that's key.
Yeah.
You know, I you know, could I be this big, you know, tycoon and, you know, yeah, but I would have to probably change the personalization that I feel that I want to give my clients. And, you know, it's all about customer service in my eyes.
Sure. That's your brand, that's your integrity.
That's who I want to be.
Yeah.
So my clients hire me for me.
That's it.
You know,
that's
so.
it. It speaks volumes, Cori. So a lot of great advice inside there. So hopefully everybody took notes. That's really, really key stuff. So let's go into a slightly more challenging question.
Uh-oh.
So that everybody gets a different picture, a full picture of who Cori really is. So when things are easy, right, simple, we can slide through life, no problem. But when the challenges come our way, when the speed bumps are in front of us, that's what really separates everybody from the top professionals, the top producers that way. So if you could share a challenge that you dealt with in your life, Cori, that you overcame, that made you a stronger person after that, what does that look like for you?
Well, really falling flat on my face.
Okay.
You know, I basically got into real estate in a down market. You know, it was super challenging. On the verge of claiming bankruptcy, damn near lost everything.
Whoa.
Not only to boot, I became a single mom.
Oh, gosh.
You know, I never thought I wanted to have kids.
Sure.
He just happened,
Hey.
and I love him,
That's right.
and I will never give him back.
Yes.
You know, he's blessed my life in more ways than one, and he also challenges me to be a better person, and your whole perspective on life changes when you become a parent.
Wow.
You wait, Greg.
It's getting there. It's getting there. I'm super excited.
Yeah. So I would say the biggest challenge for me was dealing with all that and going and picking myself up.
Wow.
You know, telling myself that it's I failed darn near, but it's not the end of the world.
Sure.
You know, if anything, I learned something from it, and I learned what I need to do to not ever end up in that position again.
Okay.
You know, and so I strive hard.
Right.
You know.
And I think that again is going to hit a lot of people when you're talking about you know, relationships. Everybody has struggle, you know, with that and time frames and what's going on. So that makes a lot of sense there. I mean, you're talking about you know, losing or almost losing everything, you know, financially. That's rough, and there's so many people that deal with those challenges as well. But you have a continuous echo with all the other titans that are there. It's just no matter what happens, keep going, keep moving. I mean, we all have challenges. Everybody who's watching this has a challenge either right now, in the past, or hasn't hit it yet, but they will. Just keep pushing, keep moving forward. Don't let it defeat you. We can all have a time frame where we're sad about something or they go through, but surround yourself with people that uplift. Reach out to other people.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's always good too. Friends, family.
And be kind to people. You know, you never know what they're going through, you know? Sometimes it's just a simple, kind word, you know, that can really just brighten somebody's day. And the best thing is it's free.
Right.
You know?
A compliment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, nice shoes, cool jacket.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I mean, you know, just be kind to one another.
Gosh, this is good. These are all nuggets inside here. Well, Cori, that was huge. So I know that's not the easiest thing to kind of air out your laundry in front of everybody. So
it's real life.
Yeah,
You know?
it happens.
It was my life.
That's right. Everybody out there.
Not my life anymore. Thank goodness.
But I appreciate that. I know that a lot of people are going to stick with that. I think that's important. So let's go to a slightly softer question out there. So, and this is actually one of my favorites. So if you could travel back in time and give your younger self a piece of advice or two, what would that be? What would you say to young Cori?
Don't grow up too fast.
Wow.
I would probably say that.
Okay.
Live life. Don't feel the pressure to have life figured out right away.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, hell, I'm pushing 40 and I still don't have life figured out.
You heard it here first, everybody.
I'm still winging life every day,
Yeah.
but don't take life too seriously. Just have fun, live in the moment.
Yeah.
You know, and take a deep breath every once in a while.
Come on, Cori.
Yeah.
Live life.
Have fun, laugh a lot.
Yeah.
You know, laughter is also free,
Yes.
and it's something that you can share with everybody, and you know, you will never hear anybody say, "Oh, please don't make me laugh," unless they're on the verge of peeing their pants.
That's right. Which can happen.
Yeah, but yeah, just laugh and live life, and don't take stuff too seriously, and loosen up.
I think that's good for everybody to hit, and I think the problem with so many top producers or professionals is they're so goal oriented, they're so driven that they don't take the time to smell the roses, right? To stop and say, hey, this is where I was, this is where I'm going. They're so just drive, it's never good enough. So that advice, not just to young Cori, but to everybody out there, I think makes sense. We all got to take time and breathe, enjoy what we're doing. It's not going to happen all at once.
Right.
You didn't wake up one day and say, hey, I know what I know right now. It took you all this time to get to where you're at now, and you're still learning.
Every day's learning experience. I learn something new every day.
That's big.
Matter of fact, I told my son that yesterday. So
Oh,
you're never
no
too
way.
old to learn, buddy.
Okay.
He's teaching me about bald eagles.
This is great.
Yeah.
See, but that's so cool about life and relationships and everything. But that's a humble mentality. That's somebody who is wanting to grow and wanting to strive, and that's why you've had the success you've had, Cori.
Right.
I mean, the challenges that you've been through, the mindset you have right now to continue to grow. That's why you are who you are,
Right.
and so that's really, really cool stuff. Okay, so let's go into kind of the feeding of the mind portion. So this looks like as far as books you might be reading, podcasts you listen to, or influencers on social media, whether it's in the past or right now, just for everybody else to kind of feed their mind.
I will say, Greg, that you have influenced me with your memes that you always have on social
Oh,
media.
get out
Your
of
great
here.
inspirational quotes.
I'll have to send her the check
So,
later, everybody.
Yeah. And so I actually downloaded a meme maker myself.
Oh, no way, no way.
And I've started a few. They're not as great as yours,
No, don't
but
say that. Don't say that.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
As far as books, I love a good thriller, whodunit, you know, kind of get the mind working a little bit.
Love it.
I'm usually wrong, you know.
But to get your mind
Yeah, I'm
working.
trying to solve it, you know, before I get to the end, but I'm usually dead wrong.
Sure.
Which is okay.
Right.
As far as podcasts, I'm new to the whole podcast thing,
Okay.
although I do have a client who is super awesome and
Cool.
fabulous, and he does a whole bunch of podcasts, and it's basically about love, sharing love with one another, and you know, go back into the whole saying of love is free, and you know, it's something that it's a gift that you can give to everybody, and it doesn't cost you anything.
Wow.
You know, and so he does a lot of, you know, those type of podcasts, and it's just really enlightening.
Okay, which is great.
Yeah.
And, name to the podcast or anything like that?
Well, it's Bruda Zen, so not Buddha, so
Okay.
BRUDDAZEN.
Okay.
And hi, Denny. So yeah, he's just a very light, genuine, warm person, and I love it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot though, and everybody out there, just as usual, I'm going to list all of those links so that you can kind of follow along with what Cori's feeding her mind as well in the description of the comment below. So, anything else in there, or?
No, that's about it.
Okay, cool. This is good. So, Cori, this has been awesome. I mean, totally genuine and honest. What you see is what you get, everybody. I swear, Cori is phenomenal. So, last question to kind of wrap all this up. If you could sum up your brand, who you are as a person or professional, into a mantra or a quote that you live by or a saying, what would that be for you?
Oh, mantra. Oh, I knew there was gonna be a curveball in there somewhere.
This is it.
This is a big moment. Oh gosh, I don't really have a mantra. I would just say, be free, live in the moment. You know, just have fun.
Okay.
You know.
But there's a lot there, though, Cori.
Yeah.
Being free, living in the moment. I mean, that's something, again, that kind of resonates throughout your entire episode.
Right.
Is really people need to do.
And be
more.
true to you. You know, don't be somebody who, you know, you see all these people out there and you feel like you have to mock them or be like them to be relevant.
Right.
You know, be different. you know, people love different. You know, and I'm so different.
I agree with that. This is awesome.
I'm a good different.
In a good way. Let's clarify that, everybody. Cori, thanks again so much for taking the time. This was an amazing episode. I want to officially say you are a real estate titan.
Thank you, Greg.
Absolutely. So everybody, thanks so much as always for your time and attention. Absolutely, totally appreciate the support. We're going to go live every Tuesday and Friday afternoons, a different titan, a different location. So we'll definitely catch you on the next live episode of Real Estate Titans. Take care. Okay.